This figure sucks. And this figure's awesome. Hey, what's happening, YouTubers? We're back with a brand new action figure review, or reviews I should say, and today we're going to take a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Secret Wars Spider-Man in the black suit, and the other one is going to be Agent Venom Flash Thompson. Now these just came out recently, and ironically I'm wearing my Venom hoodie. I swear I did not coordinate this. Promise. So stupid. Anyways, so the first figure we're going to take a look at is going to be Agent Venom Flash Thompson, because I heard some people saying it's kind of underwhelming, and why not start with the underwhelming figure first and then the better figure later. But before we get Agent Venom out of the box, I kind of want to just compare the retro card art or the card art for both these figures. I think Hasbro did a good job capturing the essence of the OG Secret Wars blister card. And then you had the lenticular shield we'll take a look at in a second, or once I get this out of the box. And then you have the other figures in the wave, and then a little read-up on Spider-Man, which is cool. And then here, sort of the same thing, except they've kind of modernized it with the updated Spider-Man title right here. You see the image artwork of Agent Venom, and then also other figures in the wave as well. Cool. Just wanted to showcase the blister cards before I rip into them. So let's go and take a look at Agent Venom first. Alright, here's Agent Venom out of the box. Let's take a look at his accessories first, because he comes with quite a bit. So he comes with 2 weapon accessories, and this gun we've seen before. And then the other one he comes with is this one, which last time I remember seeing this was with the Deadpool figure from Deadpool 1 during that anniversary set that came out with in 2020. I'm sure other figures have had this since then or prior to that, but let me know in the comments below which ones have. Agent Venom comes with 3 sets of hands, so 6 individual hands total. We have the trigger hands right here, the fisted hands, and then like these open clawed hands, I guess you could say. And Agent Venom comes with 2 head sculpts, which you like to see. So we have the unmasked head with Flash Thompson, and it's okay. I don't really like it, to be honest with you. And with all due respects to, you know, whoever sculpted this, but I think there are some sculptors that work on Legends that make it overly realistic. And I don't know if that's making sense or not, but ever since they've adopted the photoreal tech, it's been great for some head sculpts, but I just think some sculptors make it too realistic looking and kind of lose that comic aesthetic. And what I'm referring to is, like, here is a Jean Grey figure from 2019, and you can kind of see it's still, you know, painted decently in my opinion, but it still captures that comic aesthetic. Now, when you put them side by side, do they both look like they belong in the comics, like, or are they same comic panels? I don't think so. I think this is just too overly done. And again, no disrespect to sculptor, because when we take a look at the Flash Thompson head sculpt from that VHS 2-pack with Spider-Man, this one is what I'm referring to when I say, like, keep it a little bit still, like, with that comic aesthetic, even though this is supposed to be an animated series. Whereas this just looks like a younger version of what's that dude's name? Robert Redford from Winter Soldier. I just think sometimes they overdo it with the details on here, and I'm not really fond of this head sculpt. I might actually just put this Flash Thompson head sculpt on there and just kind of swap the head. Yeah, I prefer this over, I mean, this thing. I don't know, but that's just my opinion. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Here's the other head sculpt, which I'm most likely going to display the figure with, but it came out nice. I mean, there's not too much to it. It's pretty simplistic, but yeah, I think it came out well. And then when we take a look at the rest of the figure, there is a nice amount of sculpt work and detail that could have easily just been painted on there. But I think they did a fantastic job with the sculpt work, especially with the Venom logo right here. Let's go ahead and zoom in. So it's actually sculpted in rays as opposed to painted, which we've seen on other figures before. But I can kind of see, like, after, like, sculpt work aside, when it comes to articulation, I can kind of see why some people kind of think this is okay and not great. But again, it was following up that Revoltech figure, which I guess they're not in the same bracket, but still. The cool thing I like about this, it has the diaphragm joint, which gets an okay amount of movement forward, and not much back, actually. And forward, yeah, kind of. But there's nothing at the waist, so, like, there's no ball joint at the hip. And if they're going to do this, at least put a waistcoat, but they didn't. So you're super limited in terms of the torso. Another thing, it's just my thing, I don't like how the ankles are kind of limited as well. You can't really have much movement in the ankles. So, and there's no boot cut as well. So there's some limitations to this figure. But yeah, sculpt-wise, it looks pretty good. It's just there's some limitations with articulation. So in essence, it's kind of like a DC Multiverse figure. Ayo. I'm just kidding. Seriously though. All right, next up we're going to take a look at the Secret Wars Spider-Man, and we'll start with the accessories first. So first thing we're going to take a look at is this lenticular, holographic shield that you've seen before. It's a nice tribute to the OG toy line, I should say, but I don't really care for this. And then there's the Secret Wars 40th anniversary. Yeah, that's cool. It's probably just going to go in a tote or a bin somewhere. So the figure has 3 sets of hands, which is great. That should be the standard, for Spider-Man figures. You have the fisted hands, the thwipping hands, and the splayed hands, and you can see it has the triangular shape to it as opposed to the square rectangle shape that we're used to, because that's how it was in Secret Wars. So nice attention to detail on there. And Spider-Man does have 2 head sculpts, and the first one to take a look at is one that comes packaged in there like this, and I like this head sculpt a lot. I like the bigger eyes, and then the second head sculpt I'm just going to put right here is kind of like the squinting one, which looks great as well, but I'm most likely going to display him with this head sculpt. When it comes to the rest of the figure, there really isn't much to delve into because he's reusing the Amazing Fantasy body mold, which I've said before, and in my opinion, is the best Spider-Man body mold to date, well, until the Maximum series comes out. But it's funny, I remember back then saying that Amazing Fantasy body mold was the best one, and people told me I was tripping and saying the Renew Your Vows was better, but your boy has the receipts, so Jamie, pull it up. I do want to do a quick comparison side by side with the retro-carded Black Suit Spider-Man that is on the retro-carded Spider-Man body mold and this new Secret Wars one. And apologies if you can see closely here. You probably notice that there's some paint chipping because literally this has been my pocket figure for the last couple of years, and obviously when you pose the figure around all that stuff, it kind of chips away when it's in your bag. I've had this in my backpack for the last couple of years. But yeah, anytime I'm somewhere and just want to practice posing, I'll bust out this figure. But just to kind of compare the Venom logos, it is cleaner on the new Secret Wars one as opposed to, paint chips aside, when you see both of them side by side, you can clearly see that the Secret Wars is a much cleaner one than the retro-carded version. But man, the head sculpt looks great on this one. I do like this one as well. I wonder how they look, if they swapped it. Let's do a head swap. So you can do a head swap because the pegs are the same, but the thing is, this one might look a little too small in proportion to the rest of the body, and this one might look a little too big, but I guess you can make it work with perspective, But that's cool that it does pop on there, okay? It's not loose or anything like that. I'm not going to delve too much into size comparisons, but here's a quick size comparison with 2 other Symbiote figures I have in my collection. On the left, we have Venom from the Null and Venom 2-pack, which I don't have Null anymore. I sold them, sadly. And on the right, we have the retro-carded Spider-Man that you've seen already, aka the Just J. Hernandez Spider-Man. Alright, some overall thoughts on the figures. I guess you could say this figure sucks, and this figure's awesome. No, I'm just kidding. The Agent Venom figure is a good upgrade from the OG one that we had from the Walgreens exclusive, and I remember me and my homie hunting that down, trying to find it. Eventually, we just ended up buying it at a convention. And then the Amazing Fantasy body reuse on this Black Suit Spider-Man is just fantastic in my opinion. It's chef's kiss because it is the best body mold they've made in my opinion also. But overall, nice upgrades. I think there could have been a little bit more work done for articulation on this, but sculpt-wise, it's fantastic. But let me know what you think in the comments below, YouTubers. Sound off, and like always, if you like what you see, be sure to hit that like button. If you already subscribe to the channel, what are you doing, y'all? Help me get to 3,000 subs. Go ahead, subscribe. Thanks for watching.